Welcome to Gitika Farm. This farm is two plots which have been combined together to form one, where we have the perimeter fence. The area is in a very dry area, as you can be able to see from outside. I'm sure you can see from outside. It's a very dry area. And when we bought this land about 5 years ago, we were contemplating on what would be the best thing to be done here, but our main objective was to start piggery farming. So we were able to put the perimeter fence, and then from there we started keeping the first pig. So there you can be able to see the first unit where we started, and we had the first 6. Then from there we continued constructing, and we constructed the entire where we have those farms. And one of the byproducts of the pigs is manure. We have a lot of manure, and this one now brought us to the next level where we started now farming the vegetables.
Tuko na nguruwe zingine pale, iko nguruwe iko na watoto. Hii nguruwe iko na watoto 13. Hawa watoto 13 hawaja kufikisha mahali kiwango ya kutoka kwa mama yao. Kwa hivyo sasa wako na mama yao. Wakifikisha siku 60 tutawatoa, we shift the mother and then sasa kwa hivyo tubaki na watoto. Watoto wakianza kukua, waanze kukula, kila mtoto anakula nusu kilo. Wakizoea kukula ndio unaenda unaongeza tena, saa hiyo wanaenda kama wanakuwa kubwa. Mama yake anakula kilo 3 asubuhi na kilo 3 jioni, ndio aweze kupata maziwa ya kupea hawa watoto. Ndio hawa watoto ile siku ya kuwatoa kwa mama yao hawatarudi nyuma, wataendelea tu. Baada hii mnaona tuko na nguruwe ya dume. Hii nguruwe ya dume ni duro kujasi. Duro kujasi ni nguruwe mzima, tunaipea kilo 1 asubuhi na nusu asubuhi, na jioni kilo 1 na nusu. Hapa karibu tuko na watoto wengine hapa. Wanakula kila mtoto anakula nusu yake, na ingine nusu asubuhi na jioni. Baada hii mnaona tuko na nguruwe ingine large white. Hiyo ndio inazaa watoto wengine, hao watoto wako pande hii. Hiyo nguruwe ni mlafi sana. Akikosa chakula anaweza tokea pale juu, mnaona hivi. Na huyo nguruwe anakula kilo 1 na nusu asubuhi, kilo 1 na nusu jioni.
So I started with 6 pigs which I bought somewhere in Kikuyu, the large white breed, and we raised them for a period of about 6 months. When they reached the market age, we were given an order by Farmer's Choice where we delivered about 4 of them, and we were left with 2 which were served to be mothers. And then we also bought boa, or the male, for our own farm. We bought it from a farm in Luiro, and it was a Duroc Jersey which now started serving our pigs. From there we bought 10 piglets from a farmer who was almost like giving up keeping pigs, and he wanted to really dispose the pigs, and we raised those 10 pigs, and that one we were able to take them to Farmer's Choice again, because they have been giving us good orders. We have been having good working relationship with their field extension officer. They always inspect our farms, and they have always been giving us orders. From there we started now raising our own breeds. We bought a Duroc Jersey from the farm at Loiro, which was doing very well, and then we started now raising our own pigs, our own breeds. And the one we bought was very prolific because it was able to give us about 14-15 piglets, and most of them were going up to maturity, and we continued selling to Farmer's Choice until recently, when we had Farmer's Choice had a bit of a challenge, and they were not able to pick farmers' produce in good time. So we had to seek alternative markets, and the first market we identified was at Kabati market, where they have an arbiter. They normally buy through the brokers, so they would visit the farm. You can agree whether to sell at the farm, or you can take to the abattoir. Then the pig is slaughtered Then you go there when they are weighing, and then you agree on the price. The challenge with that type of marketing is because the amount of, or the kilos you'd anticipate to get from your pig is normally low compared to when you take it to farmers' choice. So it means there is an area which needs to be addressed, particularly on the issue of weighing and measures at allowed that. It's really a big problem, but they are good because they offer alternative markets when you have a big challenge. So it is good to maintain the two markets, the farmers' choice where you do like more of contractual farming, and you also maintain this informal market. Recently in December, I identified one good pig merchant who was really buying at a very good price, and he was supplying to the butchers around Kamaki. The challenge with that was, even if he was buying at very good prices, the payment was staggered. So eventually you find that you are not able to get your returns in good time. Even if they give a good price, you'll be paid in a staggered way, such that you do not really make good use of your money. So for now, the actual market which would be quite promising is farmers' choice. But with this COVID, they also have a lot of challenge. And as such, we have been looking at options whereby we could also be able to go to value addition. With the pig feeding is a very important practice in pig management, because number one, when the pigs are young, they will definitely be with the mother. That is, they will be suckling from the mother. And these ones are raised until they're about between 45 and 60 days, depending on your type of feeding, your type of management. So 45 days is the early weaning, that is 1.5 months, when they are plenty young. So that time you require to have very good feeding, very good management, and you must be very careful so that the piglets do not really encounter shock after you have weaned them. And if you're not careful, you can lose a lot of pigs at that time. So in our system, we go up to allowed 55-60 days when we know the young ones are good enough to be able to feed on their own. Now, when immediately you wean your animals, it is important to introduce them to feed, particularly when they are still with the mother. We give them the creep feed. Creep feed is high value feed, which is feed in the nesting box, so that the mother does not eat the creep feed. And then from there, you go next and you start feeding them immediately after weaning with a pig starter mash. It has a lot of energy and a lot of protein for growth, and it is quite expensive because about 50 kilograms bag costs about 1,800 at farmers' choice, because they also have a food outlet. Then you can continue up to a month with the starter mash. Then from there, you introduce the growers. Growers you introduce at around the 4th month, and then you continue feeding on, and then it depends on the weight of the pig. You start with about 50 grams, going up to a maximum of 3 kilograms when the pig is almost ready to go to the market. But when you feed with growers mash, you feed with growers mash for about 2 months, and then from there you now convert around the 6th month. You convert to sow and weaner. Sow and weaner is the main feed which you feed until it goes to the market. But in some cases, you may be able, if you don't have a market, you can be able to introduce pig finisher, which now just maintains the weight of the animal. The advantage of growers is that the pig grows very, very fast, and then the sow and weaner is more balanced. So now it's not really putting a lot of fat, a lot of meat, so it just becomes a balanced pig. And then the other thing is that you must be able to maintain very clean water. And in our system here, in the farm, we normally have that nipple where the pig will just go behind and then nipple, so that you're able to maintain clean water and it's available throughout. Other practices which we observe in the farm, and they are the general practices. Number one is disease management, and as such we ensure that the pig stay is very clean, hygienic. We must have to observe the hygiene, and also make sure we periodically disinfect the pig stay, and we have disinfectant, different type of disinfectant which we normally use, which we apply in our pig stay. So we make sure that we observe the pigs. In case you find anything which is unusual with the pigs, to tell you there is a problem, then you can be able to find out what's the problem. The other one is the pest control, particularly the parasites, where we have the mage mite is a big problem, where you find the pig is just scratching on the wall. That is mage mite. Of course, we have the injection, which you call the vet and they come and inject to control mage mite. And then we have the normal acaricides, where we spray the pigs once in a while, so that you're able to get clear of the mage mite. Then we have the internal parasites, where we have the worms, and here we normally deworm our pigs periodically, possibly after every month, particularly after weaning, so that when they go to the market they will be free from the parasites, particularly the worms. So that one we normally do it. The other practices, of course, is to ensure that we have a secure environment which is not free from drought. We don't have rain, we don't have excess sun, so we have to provide that, and we have to ensure that the floor is normally a bit rough, so that the animal does not get scratched, and we make sure that the ground is always very clean and dry, so that it doesn't have room for the growth of those microorganisms and such things. Okay. Now for the fellow pig farmers, I think my advice would be, number one, when you are in pig production, you start with a light breed. Breed is very critical, because it's the one which is going to give you the offspring. If you have a good breed, like now Duroc Jersey happens to be a good breed. We have the large white, it's large in size. It's also good, although it really takes some time to grow compared to the other. Cabre is also a good breed. So we have good breeds, but it's good you select a pure breed from a source which you know. Because if you just go buy from any farmer and you don't know the breed and they have no records, then it becomes a very big problem. So it would be important for you, when you are buying pigs, to go and get the records. Try to look at the genetic and prolific performance of the pig, which would be able to really assist you to make decisions. Because if you get a prolific pig, possibly it will give you a good litter. It will give you possibly 10, 12, 13 kids. But there are others which will not be able to be performing well. Number two, feeding is very critical. Most of our farmers have been feeding their pigs on kitchen refuse and this waste from the hotels. I don't say they are bad, but the performance is not when you compare with the commercial feed. So it would be important for you to have a feeding regime. Even if you are using those kitchen refuse, you could be able to supplement a bit with the commercial feed. That one would be very, very useful. And number three, issues of records in pig production is very, very important, so that you can be able to know which pig are you going to select, which one are you going to sell. And particularly on the issue of diseases, pigs are very prone to boils. So it is very important for us to be able to maintain our herd when it's healthy, and we have basic antibiotics, where we will be able to periodically administer these antibiotics for control of such small problems. And the other one, of course, is to castrate at the right time. And of course, when they are very young, it would be important for you to do iron injection on the 3rd day, and a repeat on the 21st day when you are castrating. Those ones are very basic, important practices which you really have to follow as a farmer. And lastly, it would also be good to have to tag or to mark your pig so that you can be able to put records for individual pigs, which has been a very big problem with most of our farmers. And that one would be able to help us increase the quality and the quantity of pigs in this country. Our future plans for this farm is that in the future we are going to go into value addition, and we want more or less to offer employment opportunities to a number of Kenyans by trying to start, even if it's a small cottage industry, where we can be able to make sausages, we are able to make bacon, we are able to make the boyas and other products from pigs, because that one will be able to give us more value and we'll be able to engage more Kenyans, particularly the youth, in this sphere of pig production. So that one is our future projection. We are also in the process of formulating our own feeds, and we have set up a place where we'll be doing that very, very soon. And we'll be able to partner with other farmers so that we can be able to be supplying them with quality feeds. And we should be able to be a center of excellence in pig production. And we might be able to partner with some like-minded institutions to offer training in pig production at our farm, but this one is in a later date. So thank you very much.